know it.
Nothing will stand in our way. I will finish what you started.
There are stories about what happened.
It's true.
That's pretty good.
Embed the stream and then we're good to go. Here we go.
The timer's on.
Yeah, timer is wrong. So I'll just hide it. I don't know why it's on time. So we'll end it. We'll hide that colon. We'll hide this whole.
Or did you keep it hidden?
Because I need it to trigger the, because it triggers something else when the countdown's finished.
Oh, the voice is on. We can't talk.
I'll change it. Yeah, it doesn't make. Why isn't it? I need it because it triggers the other stuff.
We're being recorded right now.
Oh, it's up. It's fine, I'll just do this.
It's up. We're being recorded.
Well, I control the recording. I haven't hit record yet. on. There we go. We'll hit record. Now we're recording. Launch Parasite Meerkat, and we're good.
We should probably launch those first.
Hmm?
Next time we should probably launch those first.
Well, that's all done. That's good to go.
Yeah, but we should probably launch these first before. Okay, cool. Alright.
Oh, you stand on this side of it, and then you have the board on that side. So, see. Alright, it's all you, man. We're recording.
Oh, cool.
There's markers over
Do I start?
there. Yep.
Alright, cool. Which camera do I look at? This camera's all over.
You.
Hey guys, it's Mr. Nice Guy here. I am very confused at what camera to look at. As it's being our first time, we have had some technical difficulties, so sorry for being just about 40 minutes late. We're going to talk about, how to achieve your desires in 2016. Mostly we're going to talk about creating those desires. We're going to create, go through what I did, my story personally. And at the end of all this, if you guys stay tuned, we are giving away a free giveaway. We're giving away The Alchemist, the story written by Paulo Coelho, which mentions a lot of tribulations, trials that the main character does go through. So I'm Mr. Nice Guy. I didn't always start off as Mr. Nice Guy. Back then when I had started, I started with the title of Nobody. This was back when I was about 12 years old. We had moved a couple of times already. By the age of 14, I had moved about 7 times, which is about 2 years, once every 2 years, which was very difficult for me to accept. And the reason that my parents would move so much is money. That was a huge issue in our family. We had lost everything in the war. My parents had gotten used to a certain lifestyle back before the war, and then sort of accepted that they had lost everything and had no chance to revamp their life. So, being Mr. Nobody, I started to look at and compare myself to other people a lot, which is good and bad at the same time, and I'll tell you why. It's good because it has you looking up, seeing and showing the things that you lack. It's also bad because when I started out, I started being jealous of a lot of people, and that creates very bad feelings. When you're jealous, it's not necessarily good, okay? What ended up happening is, so this is at the age of 12 to 14, I started saying, well, everybody has, they have what I wanted. They have what I don't have. So how do I raise my life from being a nobody to the have? And it took about 2 years. So 2 years passed. And at the age of 16, I started what's called the Broke Man Memo. Interestingly enough, it was this time that I was also, a street rat. I was on the street. I was doing things I shouldn't have been doing, selling things I shouldn't have been selling, and encouraging a lot of things that I shouldn't, all in the name of fun and all in the name of creating money. So being jealous, I looked for a quick way to make money, and within those 2 years, between 14 and 16, I had already started setting myself down a lifestyle. By the age of 18, I had made my mom cry, right? So I created what was called the Alleyway Entrepreneur. This is when I stopped living my bad lifestyle. So between here and here, I did open a business that helped me see that there was alternatives route. We opened a small fashion company that created leather suits for people out of the city of Brampton, actually. And this was my main driving path. By the age of 18, I was pulling in between $3,000 to $10,000 cash, and I was like, hey, I can make as much money legitimately as I do illegitimately. So after seeing my mom cry, I decided, hey, why don't I just stop? So you can make money with ethics, is what I learned from here to here, between the ages of 16 to 18, that you can make money correctly. And there's lots of money out there to be made. You just have to know where to find it. The rest of my story extends to, I lost everything at that point, being the Alleyway Entrepreneur and trying to switch everything all at once, dropping all my old lifestyle, all my old connections. I lost a lot. By the age of 21, I bought a condo. I bought 2 cars, a total of 2 cars, because I totaled both of them. And I came out of school as an optician. By the age of 22, I was married. No kids, guys. And then I got divorced just end of last year, and I'm restarting the new plan. So that's how I ended up as Mr. Nice Guy. So that's a little bit about my background story. Now, a lot has happened through here. A property managing company happened through here where I rented out properties because I didn't want to pay rent. So I looked for a source of income. That's all very exciting. So what keeps me going here? If I look through my track record, there's a lot of failures. There is a lot of failures. And I can't say that I've made it. Each of these lines represent a loss, a huge loss in my life, where I was not able to sustain what I already have. Sorry guys, I'm recording, so I can't answer you very quickly on Periscope, but we will get to you. Do try and send us a comment. We do have a YouTube link on Mr. Nice Guy Tips. So there was a lot of failures along the way, but I kept going because I remembered that my parents didn't have money, that my original goal was to provide from them. Somewhere here I lost my ethics and started refining ethics. And then as soon as I found, a way to make money ethically, that I was able to replace my income and do that. Now I do sales. And a lot of sales has to do with getting what you want. And you can do that ethically and be in charge of your life. So, what is it to want? You wake up every day. And you have to find out where you're going and where you're coming from. You need to know why that you want what you want. When you're selling something, when you're trying to achieve a goal, you need to know exactly what it is you want from that outcome so that you can make a direction, a plan, a strategy to go towards it. Otherwise, it's very difficult. Let me flip this. So when you have a destination, I think that's the sort of a destination picture. When you have a destination, when you have your wants, you need to identify what's going to get you there. So that is your why. Guys, your wants are very important because this will say, okay, this is where I want to be, and this is where I want to get to. Your why is the driving factor. That's your why right there. That's what's going to drive you to this. This is sort of your vehicle. Okay, it's very important. Now, a lot of people have trouble doing it themselves because what ends up happening is we start saying that I don't need that to live, I don't need this to survive, you don't need much to survive. But however, you do it for the people who are in your life. You do it when you do it for others, you have a higher drive than when you do it for yourself. Why? Because you have to make it. You have to do it. Why do I do this? I do this for my family. I do this for my mom. I do this for my dad. I do this for my sister. And I do it for sort of the future of what I want them to see. They're struggling day to day. And if I don't make it, then they can't eat well. So the better I make it, the better I'm able to do. And the better I proceed at my life, the better lifestyle I live, the more they can eat, the better they can eat, and the happier they will be. But to do this, you also need to combine this with beliefs and values. This is very important, guys. I believe this is very important. Because if you have, as I mentioned earlier, if you have no values, if you have no ethics, if you have no morals, this core thing, you can be derailed very easily. Also, this money or lifestyle that you create for yourself is not very strong. Okay? Your beliefs will drive you as well. Because your beliefs will have you carry out a certain way that you should be going about life, the way you should be. When you know what you want and you know your why and you guide it with beliefs and values, you will get there. Okay? It's not a perfect track record like that. It's not. I had a business. I lost my business. I lost my money. I lost my friends. You know, I rebuilt. I bought a condo. I bought one car. I crashed that car. I had another car. And so this is the story of my life, right? I went through many failed partnerships where between business relationships and the people I was with were no good for my life, causing me to lose certain things. You know, I lost my condo. I cashed out my stocks and went on vacation. I don't know if that's a plus or a minus, but it did happen, right? I went on a second one, and to the total, I spent about $30,000 on those 2 vacations, a total of 12 weeks, and got married. Then I got divorced, right? And I also lost everything again. But now I'm doing, you know, sales, and I'm rebuilding all that, and there's all an end result. And now I found out that my passion is to sort of help people understand this as well. Yes, this is very basic, but it's also very important, because if you don't know where you want, you don't know where the hell you're going, and that can ultimately hurt you. You always are standing here wondering, what can go wrong? What do I do? How do I get there? That's very difficult if you don't have a direction, and you can't have a direction if you don't know where you're going. Number one, and number two, you don't know where you're starting from. How do you figure out what path to take, what vehicle to take, how far you need to go, and how quick of a time frame you can get there if you don't know where you're going and where you're starting from? So your why will drive you. Your wants is the location you're going to. Your beliefs and values will keep you in line. I like to use the highway track record. This is your beliefs, this is your values. It guides you, it's your guiding principles. You may switch lanes, you may swerve, but these ultimate lines will get you to your destination. The lifestyle you choose for yourself will always be dependent on your beliefs and values. The stronger your beliefs and values, the more on the right path you'll be towards your goal. And can these change? Yes, they can. Can these change? Absolutely. This changes as well. So with your why, you're able to have a strategy. Because a strategy is sort of like a roadmap. Yes, there's many ways to get to California from Toronto, but how do I get there is I need a strategy. You know, how am I going to park my car at the airport? Am I going to take the airplane over there? And then do I rent a car to get around in to Los Angeles? That is ultimately a strategy. I know it's a very simple correlation, but that is how you do it. So what do I show people to get? I basically show people a very simple thing. So I teach people how to sell to get what they want. Very simple. So this is my first session, and we'll be doing this every day at 3 p.m. on a Sunday to start. We will have a Wednesday session. Just pay attention and follow along with us, and we will let you know when that is. I teach people how to sell to get what they want. And this is actually very easy to do. So you need an idea. You need an idea that provides you with what you want. Okay? But you also need to provide people with the same value. So this is people with what they want and or need. Now it's easier to sell a want than a need, because people will more likely buy into what they want because this is tied to emotion than what they need. Okay? So the easiest way to turn a need into a want is to drive emotion. Okay? So sales is very easy. To sell an idea to people, you need an idea of what you want and why you're doing it. And then you need to sell to people why they want and need this based on emotion. Okay? So sales can easily be identified as sales is the transfer of emotion. And that's what I teach people about sales, guys. That sales is a transfer of emotion and nothing more than a transfer of emotion. Why do I say this? Because if you came to me and you wanted to buy a car, let me tell you guys that I know enough about cars, but I'm not a car enthusiast. So a car enthusiast who comes to me would have more information about the vehicle they're buying than I'm able to provide for them. It is very difficult for me to learn every car that changes every year and there's new status updates, all the problems and all the little gimmicks and which each little part does if I'm not a mechanic or a car enthusiast. I know the relative torque, I know the relative horsepower, I know what this button does and what that button does. I do not know that this car can overtake this car. I have a general idea of where it stands in the marketplace. As a salesperson, that's what I understand. But why do people buy from me? Because I give them a strong emotion tied to what they want and what they need. Okay, they need a vehicle to drive them. Why do they want that? If they need a vehicle to drive them, they want that because, it either gets them to work. But can't they take the bus? Okay, so it gets them to work a little bit faster. Maybe it's a status thing. Maybe it's a teenager who wants to drive a girl from point A to point B and take her on dates, and it looks good that he has a car. What kind of car he needs. So this is what I teach people. Wants to sell, you need to know your wants. You need to have an idea of what you're selling and why you're selling it to these people based on their wants and need. And you need to transfer that emotion and energy to them so that they're able to buy into your energy. When you're going from one person to another, let's take a Lexus dealership, for example. Why buy from one Lexus salesperson and not another? Do they not have the same vehicle in store? So if you just get the best price, if it was all about price, then you could just buy it from where you are. Pick up the phone, make a few phone calls and see who gives you the best price, right? But we want to buy from people who make us feel good about the purchase. We want to feel like we win. People want to feel like they win. So what does winning give us? Winning also gives us, as purchasers, gives purchasers winning gives purchasers energy. Why is that important? Because sales is a transfer of emotion, but it's also the transfer of energy. Let me explain that to you. So if I was, oh, hi, how can I help you? You definitely won't buy a car from me. It doesn't matter what I say, how correctly I say it, you definitely will not buy a car from me the minute I start with, hi, how are you? My name is Jason. How can I help you today? But if I start, hi, how can I help you today? Then you will definitely buy a car. But I'm not just talking about selling. I'm talking about selling in your everyday life. How do you sell in your everyday life? Well, if I want a reservation at a restaurant, could you not sell to the person who's refusing you a reservation because that restaurant's full? Right? If I want to pick up a girl at the bar, right? I might want to sleep with her, I might not want to sleep with her, but the point is I need to sell myself. And with that, I need to sell myself, I need to sell my idea. And with that idea, I need to tie it to an emotion, and I need to tie it to a want and need from that emotion. Right? I need to tie it to a want and need, and with that, I need to tie an emotion into it. Very easy. So, wants, needs, it's the same graph. So, what does she want? What does she need? and tie it into her emotion. Very simple. Okay, guys, from now on, that will be the symbol of our emotion. So how does a sales process work, and how do you get what you want? This is the funnel. So sales is a funnel just like any other. There's levels to this funnel that you go through. Let's think of it as filters. First, we need to identify texting screws up your English. What the customer wants. Okay? Customer wants a whole lot. By tying what the customer wants into the next thing, we want to find out what they need. Because sometimes their wants exceed their need, and their wants take a lot of this, when what they need only costs this much. So you don't want to oversell their wants when you can go through what they need. After this, you tie an emotion to it. We are emotional beings, and we will buy emotionally. By tying emotional and energy, right, all you need left is to build rapport. A trust. That's essentially what sales is. Sales is not, oh, let me give you all the values, let me give you all the facts. That's boring. If I tell a customer who wants a race car, and I show him a car and tell him all the reasons of gas saving on, this version, better, the 4-cylinder car or whatever car, that's going to bore him because all he wants and interested in is power. I can make a very normal car sound very good, just talking about horsepower, just talking about delivery of energy, and keeping the things he's not interested in very limited. Or I can make a very powerful car weak by talking about all the things he's not interested in. So I need to find out what he wants, and by that I deliver his need. Okay, well, you need a powerful car. You want a powerful car. This is how much it costs you. So, but if I can make, a weaker car, let's say a 100 horsepower car sound like a 150 horsepower car. I'm just using relative terms. I know this is not realistic in today's market, but if I can say, this is your budget, this car delivers enough energy for you to enjoy the ride, the handling's amazing as a race car person, then why do you have to spend the extra money for this? All of a sudden, there's an emotional tie automatically. It's that I care for this person, and I'm saying, this is what you actually need. This is how much power it delivers. This is your experience with it. Hey, let's go for a test drive. There's your energy and rapport building. I'm not saying, okay, this is what you want, boom, 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 boom. And then all of a sudden, his ego as a customer gets involved, and you've lost the rapport part. So all this is simultaneous, but you have to build it one by one, and that's how you get what you want from what you need. So one time I went to, how does this relate to the reservation? One time I went to a restaurant, and we wanted to reserve a table for 8, but the restaurant was full and it was a weekend. And they said, we only reserve table on an empty day up to 10% of the restaurant to leave 90% of the restaurant for walk-ins. I said, okay, fine. But what do I do now? I still want that reservation. I still need that reservation. 8 people are coming at this time. So I had to figure out what she wants. I noticed she was fidgeting a lot with her hair. She was not confident in what she says. So I figured out that a person in a position wants to be complimented. I introduced myself, gave herself the emotional connection, and complimented her simultaneously, and told her that I believe in her, what she needs for the reassurance of work, and gave her a smile, which gave her a burst of energy, and said, listen, we'll be here right at that time, giving her the rapport. So she got what she wanted, which was the compliment. She got what she needed, was a reassurance, which also gave her when I shook her hand and smiled at her, emotional energy, which also in the end gave me a report and gave me that reservation. Can you use this all the time? If the restaurant is slammed, no, you cannot use this if there's a lineup before you. Can you use it any other time? Yes, absolutely you can. Another situation was I met a restaurant owner, and he had a phenomenal restaurant, and I was in California. I did not know who this guy was. I just noticed that I wanted to interview him for our channel. So I went up to him, and as he was walking around, introduced ourselves, and I figured out what he wanted. He wanted to be socially recognized as the best restaurant to walk to. So what he needed from that was a compliment that he was doing the right thing for his environment. He was doing the right thing for, this was on Manhattan Beach. The owner's name was Chris, and the restaurant was Mama D's. That he wanted the recognition that he was doing something right, which he was, which I strongly believed he was. So we connected with him on an emotional level, saying, we've never experienced something like this before. I truly believe this. I've never experienced a restaurant that had, such precision in terms of delivery. I wanted to go to that restaurant before I even knew what was on the menu. Based on the smell, based on the service, I was outside, I was given garlic bread. I was offered seating outside. And that was very interesting to me. So we provided him with an emotional connection and became very enthusiastic about his restaurant, which I transferred that energy and said, hey, listen, Chris, I really need this interview with you. Can we do it? And when can we do it? And I built rapport by following up the next day exactly when I said I would follow up. Had I not followed up at the exact time, I have no respect for him. I have no lack of time. I'm not considering what he wants. And this man really wanted to share his story with me. I strongly believed after talking to him that he wanted to share a story that he needed for people to recognize him for what he was good for. And by connecting with him emotionally and energetically, we were able to schedule that interview. We did a similar thing in Santa Barbara. When we went to Santa Barbara, California, we did the same thing with Joe Baumel, who is the founder of Persona Pizza, which was very cool. And after the end, he's like, I don't know what you guys are up to, but that was very fun to do the interview with you guys, and that felt very great for me. And everybody that I meet, every moment of my life, I'm executing this. What do I want? What is my idea? What do I want? I identify their wants and needs immediately. Okay? Everybody wants something, but they need something a little bit lesser than that, than how much the wants cost. However, once you sell on the need, you can always upgrade to the want, because once a person buys $100 worth of goods and you sell them an extra $50, they say, well, heck, I wasn't going to spend $100. I did, so I might as well spend the $50 anyways, right? But you have to deliver this with emotion and energy. So you have to tie their emotion into this. And I'm going to show you guys within the next couple of weeks how to do that. And the energy provided. I know this sounds all very general, but I have to get into the nitty-gritty of how that's done. And there's a lot. There's sending frequencies. There's sending your energy out to the other person. It's very difficult, and we can't do it within the time frame that we do have. So guys, at any point in time, please click. I don't know which way, but click somewhere wherever you see the link that has been attached. It's very important that you do. And we will go through these steps, but there's a lot more to this. I will tell you guys a few stories that make you better sellers, from being a hunter to being a king to being, I know my references are very masculine, by the way. I'm not sexist. This really has to do with me being a male and how I relate. You guys can choose your own stories and relate to the same thing. But the morals of the story, the essence of the stories all relate to each other. Keep in mind, we are giving away a free book called The Alchemist. I really want these... Dave, how do these guys on Periscope connect with us?
Just use it on Periscope right there. Just tune in with them right there.
Okay, but how do they get access to get onto our link for The Alchemist there? Oh, excellent.
Yes.
Perfect. I don't know how to interact, but that's fine.
You can see the chat.
No, hold on. One live viewer. Hello.
Oh, they may be the lucky winner. Yeah, there's just no one chatting right
Guys, by the way, this is Dave.
Hello.
This man does everything I can't do. You're a little too tall for the camera, but this guy does everything I can't do. He's absolutely phenomenal. I'm really good at sales. I cannot understand all this back-end stuff, and all this would not be possible without him, especially the technical difficulties we just went through today, delaying ourselves 34 minutes. So, how do I show these to you guys? I show you guys that sales does not have negotiation. And everybody seems to think that, you know, if I sell to them for this price, if I sell to them for that price, then they'll buy. Listen, end of the day is any amount of money is too much. People don't have extra money to give. You need to provide the value behind it, and you need to have them have the emotional tie that they want to purchase it, and you want to transfer that energy to them so that, you know, they feel excited about the purchase. They feel good about who you are. They feel good about who they are. They're validating. When people buy things, they are validating who they are. And this is essentially what I show you guys how to do. It's absolutely very easy. I've done it more than a couple times. I don't necessarily make all the best decisions for my life, but when it comes to sales and getting what I want, I always do. And I will give you guys this training. So find the link and stay connected with me on social media, whichever platforms we adjust to. Find me on YouTube. Check out mrniceguytips.com/free. So that's mrnicguytip.com/free. Mr. Nice Guy. For those of you who didn't catch my spelling, tips. Oops, no dot. Tips.com. My head's going above my hand. Free. All this content is free, guys. I want to stay connected with you guys. There is a YouTube channel up and running for those of you who missed it. And we are on Instagram under the same Mr. Nice Guy Tips there. Thank you for tuning in. Next time, we will talk all about being a hunter. Remember, guys, click the link. It's very important that you do. Stay connected with me. I want to hear comments, questions, queries, anything that you'd like to hear more about, anything you'd like me to elaborate, so it can give me a direction of where you're catching on and where I'm not being congruent. It helps me to improve. This is the first time I've done a live session. Most of the times I just do person-to-person training and helping people get what they want. Click that link. It's very important that you guys do. And I will help you guys achieve everything that you want to. Hey, listen, 16 years of my life. Oh, sorry. No, age of 16. So 11 years of my life. At the age of 16, I decided I want to go to Cali. And this year was the first year I was able to do that. I dropped off work. I have only been there for 7 months. So I didn't even pass the 1 year period to get that vacation time. But using sales, I was able to manifest all this. That it's very simple. Using sales, I was able to manifest my wants in real life. And you can do that. You guys hear all about the law of attraction. Let me teach you guys about the art of sales. And I think that's very important to learn is the art of sales transfers. You want to pick up a girl, that's fine. You want to have a better relationship with your parents, that's fine. You want to get good food, eat good food. You want to go out to dinner parties. You want to get invited here and there. Do you understand? Like if you want a certain circle of friends, you got to sell a certain idea. If you want a particular job, if you want a promotion, if you want a raise, you guys need to click these links and stay connected with me and tell me what I should elaborate on, what I should talk about, because these free talks are very time limiting. If you guys get the chance, go through and connect with me, I will be able to elaborate more about what you want than just going general overviews. And I will go in depth eventually, but I need to give you guys the basics first. But if you don't understand part of the basics, which is very important, you guys will miss a lot. What's awesome is we do interactive stuff. And if you guys don't take advantage of that, I can't really help you at all. Anyways, bye guys.